greetings. This is another section of transition. This is something of the introduction. This is the short section. The first thing to do in describing the problems that humans face and the potential solutions is give a description of humans. Humans are mammals. Hairy critters with 4 appendages and a backbone, basically. Now, humans, in ways, we're very like other mammals. Live birth, that's the mark of a mammal. In other ways, we're not so similar. We're a lot less hairy than most. Desmond Morris said that's because when we quit moving around and lived in the same places, we had a problem with fleas, so we lost a lot of our hair. We are visually oriented. We have incredible vision, the best vision in the animal kingdom. That includes birds. And most mammals are smell oriented. We have very dexterous fingers. Sort of unusual, common enough in the primates. We walk on 2 legs. Now that's pretty unique. As you may have heard, we can healthy, skinny human can basically outrun almost any animal over the distance. That's one of our strategies. One of the really unique things about humans, though, is the long, costly developmental period of raising children. That's one thing that makes us very different, and it's why we have such a complicated social situation, and why we are, in biological terms, monogamous. In biological terms, that means that the father sticks around and helps raise the children. It doesn't have anything to do with marital status in terms of biology. And this, in most mammals, only the female raises the young, though that can change if conditions are really harsh and it's needed. But most species, the male does not stick around and help raise the young like they do in humans. And that's led to this complicated social system that we're all very familiar with. You know, we're better at communication, we're better at tool use than other mammals, and so on. So we're a different species. Now, there's a lot to be said about this, but the person who said it best was the great British geneticist C.D. Darlington, who studied this, and at the peak of his career, a very eminent career, I might add, he wrote books that describe the development of human society. And he pointed out that, speaking of the Western culture, it was the Sumerians who were the first of the Western cultures. Some people came together, started agriculture, and that led to cities. In the cities, you had all the standard city castes. You had the peasants, the craftsmen, the priests, the scribes, the builders, and the warriors. They did not have a military ruling caste, though. They were ruled by priests. And this went on for a long time. I mean, this is a fairly stable society to some extent, especially growing in river valleys. But they were conquered by the the Semites. That would have been Sargon the Great. The herders, as opposed to the agricultural farmers, warfare was sort of natural to them. The herders were always the warriors in history because they were used to raiding each other's crops, flocks. And so warfare made sense for them. You can't really raid a farmer's field very well. It doesn't work right. So that introduced a military ruling caste that really has gone on somewhat to the present. That's the monarchy. Okay, they hybridized and spread out around, especially the Mediterranean, and were the city builders. They built cities all over the place. Very dynamic, very interesting cultures. But then came another group of herders, the horse herders from the Russian steppes. These are the Indo-Europeans, the Greeks, the Dorians, the Ionians, the Romans, the Eutustrians, possibly, though some people think they're not Indo-Europeans. But they conquered that group, kicked out the Semites as the ruling class, And they were very vigorous and conquered more and developed more areas, came under their sway, and civilization spread. Now, what there's not a lot of written history of was that they met the Celts. If you have a strawberry complexion, you're descended from the Celts. And when they hybridized in, and the descendants got the traits of both, you know, parental tribes, it created an incredible dynamic that led to what we call modern science and modern culture. The point of it is, though, that the development of society and the development of humans was the coming together of people. It wasn't that new genes evolved, it was that genes came together and spread. And new tools developed, new environments developed, new social forms developed. And this is the way it's been. Now, this happened in India, in the Indus River Valley, about the same time. This happened in China, in the Yellow River Valley. This was happening in Mesoamerica, though they had much more limited crops and herd animals to work with. So it didn't go as far. And it seems like it might have been starting in North America, but it looks like a meteor set that back. That's somewhat speculative science right now, but fascinating. The point is you can describe humans. You can describe their differences. You can describe the tribes. You can describe what happened when the tribes came together. You can describe the different castes. Now, these occupational castes had genetic-based different skills. Some were scribes, some were peasants, some were craftsmen, some were warriors, and then you had that international ruling caste. So this describes humans. Now, in the detailed section of the videos on the website, the longer version, this is described in a great deal more detail. But this is meant to be a short description, just to say that this is a science. This is knowledge. This isn't just this is not the folklore of cultural history. In any case, thank you very much. I hope you found that interesting. And the next section is the genetics. I'll continue there. Thank you very much.